What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome back to this week's Smackdown recap. And as always, in these recap videos are everything that you need to know about this important episode of WWE. I give my thoughts on the show at any point in the video. You guys go down in the comments below and leave me your thoughts, whether that's debating my thoughts or leaving your thoughts on the show, or leaving your thoughts on anything that you have to feel about the world of professional wrestling in general. But as always, before we get anywhere to end the video, be sure to help your boy out by liking the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Go follow the socials. You can find the links to those in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account, my X account. Do all that helps me a ton, and that's get you guys started into this week's Smackdown recap. Alright, so we would kick off the show with the new undisputed WWE champion, that being Drew freaking McIntyre. Makes an aura-filled entrance, in my opinion. Just a great entrance, man. We see the bagpipes, so that was pretty cool. Obviously the bagpipes being played for his entrance, but overall, an aura-filled entrance, in my opinion. Very awesome that Drew McIntyre is our new undisputed champion. But we get down to business. We understand just the type of champion Drew McIntyre is going to be. He says that, screw all of you. Screw all of us, the fans, everybody in the back. Screw freaking everybody except myself. I'm the only one that believed in myself. None of you guys believed in me. When the Bloodline was attacking me, nobody was there for me. When CM Punk was, was attacking me, nobody was there for me. The only person I can thank for this is myself, because nobody else was there for me. So screw all of you. And one thing that I feel is funny about that is, honestly, London was really because obviously they were obviously WWE being in London tonight. I mean, they were not freaking, they weren't really attacked by that. It was a bit interesting. They didn't really seem too attacked by what Drew McIntyre had to say about them, because I mean, all of us includes them. It includes the entire WWE universe. So it was just kind of funny to me. Overall, continuing on, so he just pretty much says that, and then he jumps in to talk about Cody Rhodes, and he says pretty much, it feels good to say, former undisputed champion Cody Rhodes, but pretty much saying that, there was one thing in the agreement that we signed before the 3 stages of hell. There was one thing at the end there, and it's that you will not get a rematch. You will have to start at the bottom, Mr. QB1. So what do we learn from that is, well, Cody Rhodes is going to have to start at the bottom. He's not going to get a rematch. He's going to have to work his way back. He's going to have to work his way back up. So that's interesting. We'll see how that plays out over the next few months. But that does get quickly shut up, because then we do see Randy Orton come out, who is obviously set to have a match later tonight in a number 1 contender qualifying match. So Randy Orton comes out, and what Randy Orton has to say to Drew McIntyre is pretty much, telling Drew and just letting Drew know just exactly realigning him with just exactly who Randy Orton is, what Randy or is capable of doing to him. So pretty much just saying, when I get in the ring with you next, I'm gonna take that title, and pretty much I'm going to beat you down, basically. Pretty much that is what Randy Orton was trying to do here. Again, that would also get quickly shut up, because then we would see Jacob Fatu. He would come down to the ring, would not attack Orton, but he was there for McIntyre, and then they just start brawling. That does eventually lead to them, Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, fleeing out, Fatu following McIntyre into the crowd. So that's the last we see of them. And then we pan over back to Randy Orton, and then this is where we begin the first match of the night, because then we see The Miz deliver a skull-crushing finale to Randy Orton, which sets up, like I said, the match that is up next. So next up, we are going to be talking about, obviously, Randy Orton versus The Miz. So that is the match we're mentioning next. So let's get right over into that. Alright, so yep, as mentioned, we did jump into the first match. That is for the number 1 contender qualifying match for Drew McIntyre's undisputed champion. So basically, if you guys don't know how the tournament works, it's going to be 4 matches that happen tonight on Smackdown. Obviously, the first one we're talking about in a few moments here. But so we move on to whoever wins those matches, they move on, and then we go on to Saturday night's main event. It's a fatal 4-way. Whoever wins that match goes on to the Royal Rumble to face Drew McIntyre for the undisputed champion. So that is how this tournament is going to work. But like I said, this match and specifically tonight is going to be Randy Orton versus The Miz. Randy Orton honestly making light work of The Miz here, man. That RKO is just too freaking powerful, man. It really, not too long of a match whatsoever. It's just pretty much light work for Randy Orton. Really just kicks The Miz's ass and gets out of there. The Miz gets some offense in there, gets a scroll-crushing finale. It's about it, man. It really doesn't get too much in. This match is over pretty quickly, in my opinion, so I don't want to sit on it too much, but, it's also kind of an expected winner. You really don't expect The Miz to advance here. You definitely expect Randy Orton to advance. That's exactly exactly what happened. Randy Orton, like I said, hits that RKO. 1, 2, 3. It's over, man. You just don't be kicking out of the RKO, man. When it's the Viper and he's in full freaking engage, man, he will RKO your freaking ass and you will go down for that 1, 2, 3, man. So that's exactly what happened to The Miz, man. Don't really want to talk too much more here because there's just not too much to talk about, but definitely let's freaking go. Randy Orton moving on. That is hype. All right, now we would jump into Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus the tag team of Julia and Kiana James. Gotta be honest, just gonna say it, man, really did not pay attention much this match at all. And honestly, it's really just because this is a match that I just really don't care for. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, it's really just an expected winner for me. I really expect just, you know, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss to win. That's exactly what happened, man. I really just don't care for the team of Julia and Kiana James, man. Like, just WWE has not done a good job at really making me care for them. So it's really just like, oh, okay, you know, it's pretty obvious that Alexa and Charlotte are going to win this. You know, really nothing too crazy to really watch here. Is kind of like my mentality throughout this match. And like I said, that's exactly what happened. We would see Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair win here. So we're not going to talk about this one too much just because it's really not anything interesting in my opinion. And like I said, it's just something that I personally just don't care for. And I feel like a lot of people can agree with me on that one. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but it's really my main thoughts about this match, man. But we would get to the end, like I said, Sister Abigail by Alexa, they win, and then we would see an attack from Nia Jax and Lash Legends. So that was cool to see them, I will say that. But then that's pretty much it, man. So we're not going to really talk about this too much, you know, anymore. But, you know, really nothing too crazy to talk about. So overall, only thing you got to know here is Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair do pick up the win here. All right, so now we would jump into a promo with Cody Rhodes, and we're pretty much just going to break down literally the 2 main points that Cody Rhodes says here, or what you need to know here. So talks a little bit, but then he finally starts talking about McIntyre. Pretty much says, all right, McIntyre, you know, you say that there is no rematch. That's fine. We'll do this the old-fashioned way. Now, you may be wondering, what is that old-fashioned way? Well, what is just around the corner? What is just a few weeks away? What starts the road to WrestleMania? It is that Royal Rumble, man. Cody Rhodes declares himself as the first and number 1 entrant in the Royal Rumbles. Cody Rhodes will enter at number 1 in this year's Royal Rumble. So, are the odds going to be on his side, or is the Royal Rumble going to rule in favor of Cody Rhodes? Is he going to get his rematch? We will find out at the Royal Rumble, but it is official. Cody Rhodes in that Royal Rumble. Then he also goes on to Jacob Fatu, which is the second and last main point that Cody Rhodes talks about here. What does he have to say about Fatu? Pretty much saying, Fatu, you know what? I guarantee that you know the definition of a receipt, and that's exactly what you are getting. So whether it is you drive, it is whether you come down here and I give you the receipt, or I find you and I give you the receipt. It is your choice, but one way or another, you are going to get a receipt. Obviously, because Jacob Fatu technically costed Cody Rhodes that title against Drew McIntyre last week in the 3 stages of hell, because, you know, Fatu would be attacking Cody Rhodes in the corner, which allowed Drew to escape out of the cage in the final 3rd stage in the 3 stages of hell, which allowed him to pick up the win and new champion. So bit interesting, man. So Cody Rhodes coming after McIntyre, but also at the same time coming for that rematch with Drew McIntyre. So we'll see how it all plays out, man. Overall, pretty solid promo in my opinion, man. We'll see how everything works out for Cody. Is he going to win the Rumble? How is it going to work out with him and Fatu? Is Fatu going to beat Cody? Is Cody going to beat Fatu? We'll see, man. We'll see how everything plays out over the next few weeks. Overall, pretty solid stuff here. All right, so now we would jump into a freaking awesome match between Trick Williams and Matt Cardona, man. This obviously continuing with the number 1 contender qualifying match, like I said, to figure out who goes on to be Drew McIntyre's first, you know, defense for the title. So overall, very solid match here in my opinion, but I was definitely surprised by the winner. Like, I wasn't like 100% on like who I really thought was going to win either way, but I was still definitely surprised on who you know, had the outcome in this victory. So some of the cooler moments in this match is it was honestly a bit interesting to see at one point where Matt Cardona just pretty much just absolutely shoved out of the way by Trick Williams. Just Trick Williams just shoves the shit out of Matt Cardona. So I think that was pretty cool. Just pretty much tossing him around. So I think that was pretty cool. And at the end, in the ending, I will say, like, the finisher, whatever Trick Williams did, from my point of view, looked like a bit weak. I really don't know. Maybe I had to rewatch it, but whatever he hit to end the match was a bit strange. It looked very weak. Maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe maybe whatever he did was, was cool. But from my perspective, it really didn't look, like it looked like nothing really that crazy. So it's a bit interesting to see how that ended. But overall, I think just no matter what, just pretty solid match here in my opinion, no matter what. But like I said, I was surprised by the winner, and that's because Trick Williams actually picked up the win here. Like I said, I really don't know like who was really going to win this one. I wasn't really 100% on that no matter what here, but it's like I really definitely was not seeing as Trick Williams would for sure win, you know? So I was a bit surprised by that. I think that was a bit shocking, or not shocking, but just a bit surprising to me. So overall, I mean, I'm not complaining. I think that's honestly better for me in my personal perspective that Trick Williams does advance. That's definitely very cool. Definitely shows that WWE does see something in him. I mean, he's literally advancing over a guy like Matt Cardona, so that's pretty cool. But overall, pretty solid match here. And like I said, Trick Williams is going to advance here. All right, now we would jump into Kit Wilson's usual BS, man. We're not going to really talk about too much of what he said because who really cares, if I'm being honest, man? I know, I mean, it's kind of crazy to me that people really care for this because I'm just saying, man, this is pretty freaking stupid, man. I mean, I guess that's the point, but, you know, I really don't care to really listen to anything that Kit Wilson has to say because at the end of the day, it's pretty freaking garbage if you just ask me, but luckily, it got shut up very quickly in a very awesome way. Jacob Fatu appears behind him and kicks his freaking ass, man. Hops on that mic, yada mean, pretty much saying, telling, you know, Cody, you know, get your ass out here, because obviously Cody said, you know, you want a piece, you know, pretty much I want a piece of Fatu, you're gonna get this receipt, man. So pretty much Jacob Fatu telling Cody, you know, get your punk ass out here. That's what Cody Rhodes does, gets his ass on out there, and then we start brawling, man. As far as who comes out on top of that brawl, we really don't know, because they pretty much it cut to commercial break, so we really don't get to see who came out on top of that brawl, but they start brawling, man. So this sets it up, man. The men have officially laid hands on each other. I expect we possibly get this match at I'm hoping at Saturday night's main event, but we'll see how it all plays out. You know, I think it's either going to be Saturday night's main event, maybe even Royal Rumble. We'll see how it all works out. But man, this is going to be one hell of a feud, man. So can't wait to continue to see how it plays out. But overall, as far as the stuff from Kit Wilson, honestly, I don't really give a fuck. And as far as the stuff between Cody and Fatu, absolutely amazing. All right, now we would jump into the second to last qualifying match. We would jump into Solo Sikoa versus Damian frickin' Priest, man. Overall, solid freaking match here. Really enjoyed this one. Really liked the outcome as far as the winner goes. So we're gonna jump right into it, man. We're gonna just jump right to the end, man, because that's where things really get good. So we jump to the end, and you know, it's kind of like a back and forth, man. We see, you know, a major move from Damian Priest, Solo kicks out. Then we see a major move from Solo Sikoa to Damian Priest, Damian Priest kicks out. So it's just kind of that back and forth type of action all throughout this match. But finally, as you can expect, man, the Wyatt Six are going to play a role in this. You know, they do not want Solo and his family to advance. They do not want Solo to have any form of victory or growth. So they are going to put an end to this, or they're going to try to put an end to it, man. So the Wyatt Six do make an appearance here. They attack all of the other MFT. Then we jump in. Then we make it to a point where Uncle Howdy is in the presence of the lantern that was taken last week by Solo Sikoa and the MFTs. Then we would see Solo Sikoa pop up around Uncle Howdy, take him out so he would get away from that lantern. Then that would cost Solo, because then Damian Priest would get the upper hand. And then 1, 2, 3, let's freaking go. Damian Priest is going to advance there. And then in the post-match, we would see Uncle Howdy regain the presence of the lantern. He would hold it, but then Tala Tonga would come in, hit him with a big boot, take the lantern, and get out of there with Solo Sikoa. So that was it, man. But definitely really like the outcome as far as the winner goes. Like I said, really like the choice of Damian Priest winning here. I think it's for the better anyways. I think we just need to keep Solo going and keep Solo, dialed in with the whole MFT versus, the Wyatt Six situation. Keep him dialed in with that. Don't really have him try to be a part of anything else major except for that. I feel like that's the better play. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like that's the better play here in my opinion, so I think that's a good choice. And either way, Damian Priest is just a guy I'd rather see, going after gold right now, if I'm being completely honest. Yes, it would be cool to see Solo going after gold and getting closer to gold, but I think it's better for Damian Priest to be in that spot right now, so that is freaking awesome, man. I really, Damian Priest is is probably one of my, he's definitely one of the ones that I do really want to, make it all the way to the end here and actually be the one to face Drew at the Royal Rumble. He's really one of the ones. I know it's going to, kind of be a little bit annoying just to see that, Drew and Priest run it back yet again, but still, this time there's a title on the line, so I think that adds bigger stakes, absolutely. But overall, solid match here. Really like the outcome, like I said, and yeah, man, definitely very excited for, Damian Priest advancing here. All right, now we would jump into the United States Open Challenge. Obviously, Carmelo Hayes walking in as champion here. Who would answer the challenge? It would be none other than Leon Slater, man. This was definitely the best freaking US Open Challenge so far from Carmelo Hayes. Absolutely, so far, the best one in my opinion, man. This match was absolutely amazing. Some of my favorite moments here, well, the first one would be, we would see like a kind of like a reverse Spanish fly on the ropes from Leon Slater to Carmelo Hayes, which was very freaking awesome. Really liked that move. That was really amazing. I already like the Spanish fly enough, and like the backwards like type of move, or like the reverse Spanish fly type of thing. I don't even know what you want to call it. Like, it was a Spanish fly, but it was like a different approach to it type of thing. So, but it just made it 10 times better, man. Another thing, we would see Carmelo Hayes on the outside of the ring. Leon Slater would do a major freaking flip over the post of the ring and would go over and hit and land all right on Carmelo Hayes. Absolutely another just amazing move. And in the end, we would see Carmelo Hayes go to the top rope, and he would deliver this freaking nasty cutter, man, to Leon Slater. Just amazing freaking move, which that move would allow Carmelo Hayes to pick up the win. 1, 2, 3. Carmelo Hayes, still your United States champion, man. And there was more moments than this. Those were just definitely some of my favorites, man. But this match, absolute freaking banger, man. Like I said, definitely Carmelo Hayes' best US Open challenge yet, and definitely the best match of the night so far. Like, obviously the night hasn't ended, so we'll see what happens, but definitely the best match of the night so far. This match absolutely killed it, man. Freaking amazing. I would love to see this match ran back. This was absolutely freaking awesome, man. But overall, nice match, man. Amazing freaking chemistry, amazing work, and like I said, Carmelo Hayes is going to walk out still your United States champion. All right, now we would jump into Jordynne Grace versus Chelsea Green. Going to be a pretty freaking quick match, man. Just Jordynne Grace just continuing to show that she is battle ready. She is deep and ready. She is ready to take on the champ, Jade freaking Cargill, man. She absolutely made light work of Chelsea Green. Gonna pick up that easy victory over Chelsea. Hops on that mic in the post-match and talks to Jade Cargill, who is obviously sitting on the outside of the ring, who was watching this match. She pretty much just tells Cargill, are you going to stop babysitting that title? Are you going to step in the ring? Jade Cargill does just that. I mean, she gets up on the apron, and then we see Chelsea Green try to attack Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace hears her come and gets out of the way, and then Chelsea Green goes running right into Jade Cargill, knocks her off. The title lands in the ring, and then Jordynne Grace would hold up that title and pretty much just telling Cargill, this is coming home to me. This is my title. You better watch out, type of thing, man. So pretty much what this continues to do is, like I said, this continues to just show us that, Jordynne Grace is battle ready. She is deep end ready. She is ready for the best, like Jade Cargill, man. And I can't wait, man. WWE this match is just inevitable at this point, man. It's inevitably going to be Jade Cargill versus Jordynne Grace for this title, man. Can't wait for that match. That's going to be a banger freaking match, man. But overall, tonight, great stuff from Jordynne Grace, just continuing to make light work of her opponents, man. Like I said, man, cannot wait for when she finally goes one-on-one with Jade Cargill for that title. All right, we have finally made it to our main event to end the night. So it ended in Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov in the final number one contender qualifying match. So overall, man, pretty much what this match was just a rerun of the US Open Challenge match. That match was awesome, but the only difference is there was no US Open Challenge. It wasn't for a title. It was to get one step closer to a title, but there was no actual title on the line. Overall, great stuff, man. Great chemistry between both of these men. We saw some blood from Ilya Dragunov, so that was a bit interesting. Overall, man, solid freaking match. Really enjoyed this one. Really enjoyed the pace. Overall chemistry, like I said, between these men, man, just overall solid freaking stuff. But you already know, man, we're gonna get that super freaking Sami Zayn, man. He's gonna, we thought we were gonna get super Sami Zayn in the end, but Ilya Dragunov would actually counter that, which eventually would which would end up having Sami Zayn, it would get to the count of 9 on the outside of the ring, but then he would beat the count. But then Ilya Dragunov delivers a powerbomb to Sami in the ring, goes up top, and then Sami catches him, double knees to the back of the head. Sami hits him with an exploder in the corner, and then obviously hits him with that haluva kick. 1, 2, 3, match is over. So Sami Zayn is moving on. He will move on to Saturday night's main event in that fatal 4-way. So it is going to be interesting to see what happens there. And then in the post-match, we would see an attack from Trick Williams. So pretty much Trick Williams just trying to, show that he is going to be the dominant one. He will be dominant. You are pretty much nothing, and I will be the one taking that title home from Drew McIntyre. So pretty much that's really all you need to know, man. So solid main event, solid stuff here. So that's really all you're going to need to know here. All right, well, that is going to wrap up this week's SmackDown recap. As always, I do hope you guys did enjoy, and if you did, be sure to help your boy out by liking the video, subscribe to this channel, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload, and as always, be sure to leave me your thoughts on how you guys felt about the show, like I said, go follow those socials. You can find the links to those in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account, my X account, Duel, that helps me a ton, and I will catch y'all boys in the next one. Peace.